If there was any question as to whether or not Disney's Secret Invasion would be similar in any way, shape, or form to the comic book story it's based on, we have your answer right here in this article from IGN. Marvel told Secret Invasion director not to read the comics before making the show. Ali Salim avoided classic comic book story arc. This is a common story coming out about every other comic book adaptation into a movie adaptation of a comic book over and over again. Don't read the comic, don't read the source material. The Skrulls in Secret Invasion will have nothing to do, obviously, with their comic book counterparts. Marvel Secret Invasion director Ali Salim, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, honestly, I'm probably not, but apologies, was told not to read the comics before making the show. During an interview with IGN, which you can watch in the video below, which I'm not going to, the Marvel director revealed how he was emphatically told not to learn more about the classic comic book story arc. The reason kind of sort of makes sense, but when you are a fan of the comic book story, you want to see the comic book story put into live action at least halfway similar to what the comic book shows how the Skrulls are in the comic book, and obviously that's not going to be the case in this. Quote, "When I took this job, the first thing Marvel said to me was, don't read the comics, they have nothing to do with the series. If they have nothing to do with the series, why are you calling it Secret Invasion? Just trying to get longtime comic book fans to tune into your garbage show." The series was born of the electric relationship that was created between Nick Fury and Talos, or Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn in Captain Marvel. Another wonderful abomination of a show. The Secret Invasion comic books changed the superhero landscape forever. The 2008 story arc by Brian Michael Bendis and Leinil Francis Yu revealed certain Marvel heroes, wow, I got Captain Marvel on the brain here. Certain Marvel heroes were replaced by alien doppelgangers. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. If you've seen the first episode, you know, and the trailer, there's no superheroes in Secret Invasion. At least none so far, none that can be seen. Causing readers to question everything they knew about their favorite superheroes. Now it's just normal people. Basic normal people. Instead of taking the place of superheroes, they're just taking the place of regular, average, everyday Joes to try and take over the world because they want a home for themselves, even though they're aliens and could probably adapt to countless other habitable planets, maybe, instead of destroying the human race, but whatever. Clearly, the Secret Invasion TV show is taking a different route entirely, and that's no surprise, because it's Disney, because they take any beloved storyline, turn it on its head, and make it only barely halfway recognizable. Captain Marvel first introduced the Skrull to the MCU, and they were good guys. They were just looking for a home because when Ben Mendelsohn, as their enigmatic leader, Talos, the Skrull, were last seen heading off to find a new home with the help of Carol Danvers at the end of the movie, which is a huge difference compared to the comic book origins. If they were heading off to find a new home, then why are they trying to take over the Earth? Okay. Now, Marvel is refocusing Secret Invasion on the relationship between Nick Fury and Talos. If that is what Secret Invasion is going to be about, my goodness, I think I'm about to lose all hope for the series. I had a little bit of hope, a little bit of interest and intrigue after the first episode. Unfortunately, I didn't like the way they treated Nick Fury, but we'll talk about that. Marvel just wanted to cue off of that and make a story that talked more about the nuances of where terrorists come from and where psychopaths come from, and less about just bad guy and good guy. Oh, for fuck. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, I gotta read that again. Marvel just wanted to cue off of that, so they're using Secret Invasion from the comic book as just a title. That's it. To get people in, to get longtime fans of the comic book in to start watching the show, to get good numbers on the first couple of episodes, maybe. But they wanted to make a story that talked more about the nuances Oh, more sympathetic bad guys. More bad guys with justified reasons and relatable reasons. Give me a goddamn break. Superhero stories are about good guys and bad guys, and the good guys defeating the bad guys getting the upper hand, but in the end, the good guys winning. What part of that is so difficult to put down into film, into a movie, TV show, whatever? What is this kick? This fanatic kick to make relatable villains. Wanda was evil, but she was relatable in Multiverse of Madness. She had reasons, she had motivations. They were stupid, they were evil. She killed people, lots and lots of people, for fake children. My God. Nuances of where terrorists come from or where psychopaths come from, and less about bad guy and good guy. You just tanked your whole show. It's a more nuanced story of Nick Fury, as we get to not only see his badass self, except you spent the whole first episode insulting his age and how he's just doesn't have it anymore. Sure, his badass self as a failure. But we get to see him in his personal life that no one's fucking interested in, and his inner life, his inner life even, and I think all of those things are more complex from good guy, bad guy, the binary world of good guy, bad guy. Nobody's going to watch this show. Not as many people as you want to watch this show. They're tired of the nuance. Think of people, the action hero genre is coming back with a fury. Good guy versus bad guy. It's becoming more and more popular. And garbage like this, especially statements like this, you're going to come out and say, oh, we want it to be more nuanced and more interesting. We want to see Nick Fury's inner life and his personal life. No. Does anybody really want to see that? Do you want to see that? I'm sure not interested. I want to see Nick Fury being a badass. Nick Fury being Nick Fury, not being this relaxed everyday Joe. If I want to see that, I'll turn on a TV sitcom. That's what I expect from TV sitcoms. Secret Invasion and Marvel and superheroes, it's not supposed to be a TV sitcom sitting around talking about your feelings and discussing how did you feel about the blip. I know you came back and you were a changed man. It's like, that's not as interesting a story for a wider audience. It's not. Just get that understanding. Sure, there is a market for that, but it is not as big as Disney thinks, as these studios think it is. It is a very niche market, and they're not interested in superheroes. They like the daytime soaps, the evening soaps, the episodic TV shows in the afternoon. Fucking Ellen, 2.5 Men, stuff like that. The inner workings of those shows, because that's what those shows, that's what their basis is. That's what they're based on. That's the whole core element of what those shows and why they're popular. Going all the way back to Roseanne, Cosby Show, and all those other shows that, oh my God, I just dated myself. Anyway, superhero. People want to see Nick Fury being Nick Fury. People want to see the Skrulls being evil Skrulls. But no, you want to make them sympathetic bad guys and, oh, they're just looking for a place to live. Well, then go find a place to live and stop killing people. When you start killing people and doing terrorist things to take over the world and make it your own, that makes you an evil person. You're not relatable. Just no. Stop trying to make it that way. Still, Salim doesn't want to disparage the comic books, even though you did, because you insulted Nick Fury in almost the first scene where he enters the picture. He's got bad knees. He's old. He wasn't the same. Oh, Jesus. And he admitted they did inspire some elements of the new series. I think comic books are great. Of course they're great. They expand the imagination. They tell good, at least the older comic books, the back issues. Find more independent creators, that aren't part of the mainstream nonsense, ideological bullshit. Go find yourself an independent creator that writes good stories and support them. Comic book inspired a lot that is in here, and we weren't anchored to them. Well, that just destroyed most of my hope for the rest of the series. It's going to be 6 episodes for Secret Invasion. I watched the first episode. I was mildly interested. Did not like how they treated Nick Fury, but after reading this article, I'm not holding out any more hope for the rest of the series. I'll check it out. I'll talk about it, but again, telling the director of a comic book show not to read the comic book it's based on, or loosely based on. Yet again. But then again, what do you expect from Disney, Marvel? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? Am I full of shit? I'm going to check it out. Are you going to be keeping an eye on Secret Invasion? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I'd appreciate you making it this far. Nonetheless, thank you. Good night.